Yo, what's up, guys? How we doing today? What up, Grixis? I caught Grim and CP. See, that's what he gets for going on vacation. Are we getting summoned into Juno? We're all here. Maybe someone's gonna make it rain. Let me hop in voice. Nice flannel? Thanks. I need TNL emotes. Which ones do you want to make? Hey, there's the summon. Which ones should we add? I kind of don't do peace bosses anymore, because, well, I mean, it depends on what the boss is, but now that you get a box for the first boss that you kill, it kind of disincentivizes you to go to as many bosses as you would. Like, I skipped Cherno and Mins so that I can get this Juno box. It's kind of an interesting dynamic. I wonder if they intended that in the change. People? There's people on this server? I didn't think we had any people. Huh. Oh yeah, look at that. They got a gate and everything. That's not the sneakiest gates. Yeah, that was kind of... Did only like 3 of them take it? That's gotta be one guy with a multi-box? Oh, is that ours? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Someone aggroed the boss. Here we go. Okay. We're gonna kill the boss. No way I didn't block that. Are you kidding me? It really doesn't matter how much contribution we get on this boss if we're the only ones hitting it. I just thought about that. Like, if there's no other guilds here, then... the loot's just getting split between us, so... we don't really have to, like, try really hard to DPS. Getting body blocked by my allies? I need this boss to die before I do. That's my incentive to do more DPS right now. Incoming! I got the wrong build. I'm just gonna die. I can't PvP with lightning infusion on. Okay. Got my box. Wish me luck, boys. Didn't get one. Never lucky. Different Amatoy emotes? You think you'd be able to tell what they are? Just grab these and make him an emote? Nice, nice. +1 pants. +1 pants. Okay, do we need to do anything in Sanctum? I feel like we probably just dip. I have a few Silius and a few Crypt Scrolls. Peace Nirma. Oh yeah, Moonstones today. We're switching Moonstones. We gave up a dentist. I think we're going to be taking cows in instead. Do we think that there's anyone hiding in Sanctum? Let's go look. Let's go find the usual hiding spot. Oh, oh, oh! I always feel kind of bad when I just evaporate someone like that. Just never stood a chance. The things we have to do for that kill ranking, boys. What a break. Let's see. People like to hide over here. I've seen people parkour up this part to get into the altar room. And then they hide over here. I don't see anyone. Let's check behind the altar room. There's actually a lot of good hiding spots in this dungeon. Kind of like the way they designed it. I think they could have made it bigger still, though. My Amatoy says he doesn't like to swim. Well, too bad, dude. Too bad. You are an employee. An unpaid employee. Is there a word for that? Okay. That's enough time looking around Sanctum. Let's go find some actual PvP. The leveling log pass worth to get? Yeah, I think it's pretty much mandatory to get. Between the dimensional shards and the trade on lockstones, I think it's a tremendously good value. All the premium passes are more or less mandatory, I would say, for 500 Lucent. I'm going to buy the new premium battle pass in a second, probably. Let's go to Shadow Crypt. Anything new in Ashes Alpha? I don't know. I don't watch it that closely. There's an updates. They've added stuff. I don't know what they've added, though. I only got to like level 5, so it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference to me what they've added. I'm not going that hard on it. I think there might be a new biome. Sometimes people will be grinding upstairs during night, which is actually smart. Not a lot of people go over there and check it. Crypt 2F is kind of an obscure spot. I got the beta access package. I paid 70 euros. Well, buddy, a year from now, you'll be able to play. Is it wiped? No, I don't think they're going to wipe it for quite a while. It's hard to level in that game. Like it's not like brain dead modern MMO leveling where you just smash through a story quest and they hand you max level with no effort. You actually kind of have to put work into it in that game. If you die, there's penalties. The leveling is slow. So I don't think they're going to wipe it too often. My guess is that when they go from like alpha into beta, they'll wipe. But I wouldn't be surprised if the next 6 months they don't have any wipes. Okay, well, Crypt is kind of quiet. Let's try Ant Nest. They get to keep my character from alpha to release. I don't see why not. I don't see any problem with that. I haven't seen bots in a while. Are you guys seeing any bots? Maybe it's because I only come here at night, but I have not seen any bots running around. Okay, let's go to... Nope, we already went there. Let's go to Temple. Hundreds of hours to max level, going to be amazing. Yeah, I don't think it'll be hundreds by the time we get it figured out. The numbers that they're telling us right now, I feel like... Okay, my game, help. The numbers they're giving right now for leveling that game, I feel like are probably about 2 to 3 times longer than what it's actually going to take the sweaties to do. But that's probably always going to be the case in any game. Imagine if it takes sweats 100, like 300 for casuals. I think 250 to 300 hours is the appropriate amount of time for it to get to max level. That is, based on my research, that is my mathematical analysis of how long leveling should be in an MMO. All of the games with the best leveling experience have actually ended up right around that range, more or less coincidentally. I mean, coincidence in the sense that I don't think they were necessarily aiming for those numbers, but I do think that the fact that they landed in those ranges is what made them so memorable. Okay, do we want to do a little grinding while we're down here? Still nighttime. We could try Sardoma. How did you even get up here, bro? That's crazy. Look at this guy. Well, yeah, then you have games that don't even have leveling, necessarily, right? They just have, like, open-ended progression, where you level up your skills. Ultima or RuneScape. To some extent, I would say Asheron's Call, too. Like, there's some games where max isn't even really a thing. The progress is just always part of, you know, why you're playing. This whole time I've watched you play, I didn't realize you played an action mode. I use both, it depends on the scenario. OSRS has the best progression of any MMO. Yeah, and it's not really level based, right? You like level up your skills individually. I'm kind of surprised more games don't go with that model. I always thought that that was going to be the model that won out, but instead, the whole leveling up thing from EverQuest ended up being the way that most games went. I guess because WoW went that way, and now everybody just copies WoW. You have a combat level is composed of a few skills, but yeah, it's skill-based. Does the combat level do anything, or is it just a representation of how high your combat skills are? Because, I mean, Asheron's Call was the same way. You had a level in Asheron's Call, but the level itself didn't really do much. It was the amount of experience you had accumulated, and you would spend that experience on your attributes and skills, like freestyle. So the level itself, like when you leveled up, you didn't get stronger. You would sometimes get more skill points for leveling, but it was more like, you know, you could just think of it as like once you get this much experience, you gain more skill points. But the vast majority of your character's power just came from spending the experience points directly as like a currency. And so the level was just kind of a representation of how much currency you had earned to level up to, you know, make your character more powerful, but it didn't actually give you more stats when you leveled up. Oh, we already got this locked down. This guy's got 100? Jeez, dude. It's always some dude who has to roll 100. How long do you think this game holds your interest based on how fast they bring new content and changes? I think this game right now has a runway of at least 6 more months. Based on how much content I've seen in Korea that we don't have yet, I would be surprised if it was any less than 6 months, maybe even a year. And I mean, it could definitely go longer if they keep updating it, but I would say minimum of 6 months. Do you think it's worth fully trading purple PvE gear, or is it more PvP gear? Not right now. No, the PvE right now is very easy. You don't need a PvE set at all. In the future, when challenge dungeons come out, if you're like really, really into PvE and pushing leaderboards, then you will probably have another set. But I think the vast majority of players will not bother having 2 sets. They'll always just have a PvP set and then they'll just change skills around for PvE. What's your Laquarius Adentis build tab for PvP or PvE? It seems kind of off. It seems kind of off. I don't really know what to do with a statement like that. Everything is for PvP. I don't bother making PvE builds for the reasons I just laid out. Combat level definitely matters to an extent. There are interesting ways that people have used the combat level formula to create specific accounts for PvP. In general, combat level does represent power to an extent. Bellendier staff 100k in EU? Still kind of expensive. Can EU even afford 100k? I feel like that's still expensive. 100k EU is like 300k NA. Damn, there's only one Tevin still up? Did the other ones actually sell? Oh, I think they all expired. Yeah, I think they're all expiring. Has it been 3 days? Because it looks like none of these ever sold. Someone sold a Warblade for 2k? Huh? Huh? Is that real? Is that real? Not RMT, by the way? Oh, you're probably right. It had to be RMT, right? It had to be RMT. Like, missing 1 0 is one thing. Missing 2 zeros, that's RMT. Yeah, you're right. Ban them both. Amazon, ban them both. Ban everyone with a Tevent. Except for me. What's a Bloodlust belt litho price? 8k. It's actually not that much cheaper than just the belt itself. Oh, you'd be getting it with a bad trait, though. Yeah, I'd rather get the litho and gamble. People were losing it in World Chat. We got 2 bows and boots on Tevent the other day. RMT 100%. What does CO stand for? I assume you're asking what CP stands for? It stands for combat power. It's the summary of your stats at the bottom left corner of the screen when you look at your gear and stuff. Ooh, 11? Alright. Sounds like we got a fight, boys. I need to pay attention. Well, the Arc boss at the moment more expensive on EU than an A. The staff? I mean, it's still 200k over here, but I don't think it's actually selling for 200. I don't think it'll sell for 100 in EU either. One of them sold for 200, but the most recent one sold for 115. So the big thing is the trait. Like, I wonder how much extra people will pay if it comes with heavy attack or something right out the gate. I mean, you're using on lockstones either way, so I don't really feel like a good trade is worth an extra 90k. But it might be worth an extra 10k or 20k. $200 stones. It might even be worth like 30k. Oh, there's a lot of them. I thought we were fighting. Someone invite me. I don't have stealth. I'm going down here. Where is team? I don't think there's anyone from Ethereum in this channel. I think it's all reassembled people. We'll see how this goes. How do you calculate blank litho and lucent? How do you calculate blank litho and lucent? What do you mean? I want to start an alt for farming lucent. Any advice on what classes are better for alts? Most of your lucent farming you're going to do in a group, so it doesn't really matter what build you go with. If you want to like run around and kill, you know, crabs or something, crossbow dagger is probably the fastest build. But most of your lucent is going to come from dimensional dungeons, abyssal dungeons. It's not really going to come from being solo. Am I being ignored? Sometimes you just have to wait 20 seconds because I'm, you know, in PvP. Just hang in there. I'm up to 38 Queen Bellendier fragments. Oh my goodness, you're actually trying to get to 180? Did they make it 180 in global? Is it still 180? That's wild. Ink to lucent ratio. Probably 80 to 5 right now is about what I would do on my server, but I mean, I don't know what it is on every server. So that's something you're going to have to decide for yourself based on how much ink you have and how hard it is to make money in general. All right, it's daytime now. It's the last thing we can do. Let's run some dungeons. Oh, before we do that, cancel everything. There's some stuff to buy. Juno versus Mordecai. I like Mordecai. I think you can make Juno work, but I went with Mordecai. I really think if you're gonna go for a boss weapon, it should be a Dentist. The more that I've played this build and experimented and like mathed out different sets and stuff, I really think a Dentist is kind of the only option. A Dentist and Fury Blade. In hindsight, I'm using Mordecai now, but if I had to do it again, I don't think I would. Unless I was specifically trying to make like an anti-evasion build. And in that case, both Mordecai and Juno can work. But it's kind of niche. I think it's kind of too niche. It is 180 on global. You're awesome. Thank you so much for your informative videos. No problem. Thanks for the compliment. Okay, so we need to buy this premium battle pass. I'm already up to level 28. What do I get? Some shards, some parchments. I want these skill books more than anything right now. I'm at the point where I really need to get these skills maxed. Some mystic keys. Do I get a bunny morph? All right, yeah, I'm sold. That's easy. Look at all that value. I got a chair emote. Demon, King, Joker, Amatoy. Almost maxed out on my 25 Amatoy effects. Okay, so we got that. And now also we have a new Ornate Coin Shop reset. So we're going to buy all of these. Look at that. I saved up for this, boys. I saved up for this. Nope, not the title. And then we're going to buy all of these. And we're going to buy all of these. Oh, I'm so wealthy. And then probably the next thing I'll go for is ink. But I don't need to do that right this second. What's the Amatoy that I got? This guy? What type is he? Ruins? Yikes. I have so many Ruins Amatoys. I finally just got 5 out of 5 Forest. So I have 5 Ruins, 5 Forest, and 5 Field now. So I can max out any of those missions, which is nice. Okay, for my dash, they called it a Perpuma. I didn't realize it had that name, or else I never would have used it. Okay, now I'm a adorable little rabbit. No one's gonna be able to click on me. Let's go. Oh, look, I'm so fluffy and harmless. Amazing. I kind of want to get the Flame Bunny. It's worth 750. It's a chair. Okay. Does that mean I can slash chair now? Ah, dude. That's powerful. That's hard-hitting stuff right there. I can literally just sit anywhere. Nobody can stop me. Can you share your builds? There's a build command on Twitch that you could try if you want to. Would you go Darkslayer Dagger with a Dentist for the strength and HP? Well, my plan is to go Tevant Dagger with a Dentist. You can go Darkslayer or Dentist. You're going to be lacking hits if you go Darkslayer or Dentist. You might not care about that. I mean, I've gotten to the point where there's so much melee evasion in tier 1 that if someone's stacking it, I've kind of given up trying to counter it, because you have to gear super hard into having high hit if you want to counter those players. So instead, I just made myself really tanky and really hard to kill, and sort of sacrifice some hit along the way. So I'm rocking like 1100 hit right now. If you went Darkslayer, a Dentist, you'd probably only end up with like 1000 hits. So it'd be even less than me, maybe 1050. But I don't think you can really break 1100 hit with that build. But also, like, you know, who cares? You're going to hit super, super hard. So you can make it work, but you just have to accept the fact that you're probably not going to be able to counter evasion players. Can you give some tips on PvE stuff? Also, it'll be crazy good in PvE. Like Darkslayer Dentist is super strong in PvE. It's probably the best setup. Can you give some tips on PvE staff and wand build? Want to go DPS? Is it possible? Not. I mean, kind of. You can do solid damage, but you're never going to do like competitive damage with other DPS classes. Wand just doesn't bring as much damage as other weapons. The staff is good, but if you pair a staff with a dagger or with a bow, it's going to do way more damage than pairing it with a wand. Staff wand is really, really strong, though. It's a really strong build. It's just not a straight DPS build. It's a hybrid build. All the cash shop in with Toys for Ruins? What up, Sybil? How you doing? Just leveled up Sword and Shield, Greatsword to 50, feeling a bit lost. Where should I focus on farming? Well, I've got a what to do at 50 guide on YouTube that you can check out if you're like super lost. It's really going to be kind of the same stuff regardless of your builds, as far as the content you want to focus on when you're a fresh 50. How about Juno Sword gives perception? Yeah, you can do Juno or Mordecai if you're really trying to build an anti-evasion build. You almost have to. I mean, you could do like you could do like a Dentist Liquarius and still try to hit 60 perception, but it's not easy. Yeah, so like if you type exclamation build, this top build here has Juno and Darkslayers. And the nice thing about this is that you can have both 50 strength and 60 perception, but your dex is super low. Your dex is super low. So you have like hardly any crit here. And, you know, your hit chance, 1143. Does this count? I don't know if this counts everything. It might be a little bit higher. I mean, at least with food, we could add a food on here if we wanted to. So you're going to be effectively rocking like 1200 hit probably, which is a little bit more than what I've got now. But you're giving up a lot of crit, which is why I ultimately didn't go with this build. Also, you give up the attack speed on Violent Signet in order to hit that 60 perception. So that's kind of why I didn't like this one. This is the one that I'm going with, and I still need the gloves, but this is what it's going to look like. So the perception is a little bit lower. I'm only going to end up with like 1150 hits here, which again, if someone has 2k evasion, it just fighting them is just, you know, just kind of sucks. And then someone was saying this build didn't make sense, which I don't know what they don't like about it, because this build is crazy. Being able to hit 50 strength, 30 dex, and 60 perception is kind of bonkers. Plus, you have, where is it? You have 1281 ranged and 1131 magic evasion without Shadow Walker. That means with Shadow Walker, you're up to almost 2k range and like 1900, yeah, like 1900 magic evasion. So this build is actually completely insane if you want to go the leather route. You just obviously will get eaten alive in arena by other melees if you go with this build, but for large scale, this is extremely good. I don't know why someone was saying this doesn't make sense. I mean, fucking 1200 hit plus all this evasion. This is like, when I put this together, I just put this together a few days ago, and just saying like, man, if I wanted to make a leather build, what would it look like? And then after seeing this, I'm like, damn. I mean, it's got everything. Like, look how much crit it has. It's so good. The only thing it's missing is the field general bonus, the 100 heavy from the field general bonus. But it's still like so strong. It's expensive though. It'd be very hard to actually put this together. But all these builds are kind of expensive. This is probably the closest thing to a budget build, but even this one's kind of expensive too. But yeah, like both of these leather builds. You can even do Darkslayer Warblade and have a similar effect. Not quite as strong as the Adentis, but yeah, both the leather builds on there I think are pretty crazy, to be honest, for tier 1. It's a really good balance of stats. Yeah, like I said, the biggest problem with all those builds is that they're not cheap. So for some of you guys who are just coming into the game, it's not really going to be viable to target a lot of those items until you've got a month or two onto your feet and you've got some wealth built up and some of the prices come down. First MMO and I can't get enough 1 weekend. Oh, hell yeah. I wish I could play my first MMO again. Looks like you're having fun. How's large-scale PvP? It's okay. It's not a lot of fun with my build. My build is more of a small-scale build. So it's not my favorite content, but in general, it's good. If I were playing my build in KR, it's good. Okay, so we got some books. I gotta decide what I want to max first. I think we go with Deathblow. Yeah, I've already put some books into this. So, what are we at? We're at 35. I've got a 10% chance to hit this on the next click. Other than that, it's pretty much gonna take 2. There's a chance that I hit 2 commons in a row. Actually, there's a chance even 2 intermediates in a row would not finish this. So, I need a little bit of luck here, boys. I need a little bit of luck. Let's see what we get. All right, a common, so that's unfortunate. So now I have basically a combined total of 30% chance to not get screwed here. Just give it to me. Just give it to me. Damn it! All right, fine. Let's go craft one more book. Alliances galore. There are a lot of alliances. Yeah. I don't think there's any way around alliances in this game. They're kind of baked right into the game's design.
You know the siege warfare. If you decide it's just leave it to me.
A couple omnipotence books. Yeah, I need to make those. I still need to max guillotine. I think I'm like 1 click away. And then, ooh, do I want to spend parchment on this? Or do I want to just wait? Yeah, I'll make one. No, never mind. I'll use blue books. Okay, now it's maxed. So next priority is going to be getting this maxed. 82%, which means, okay. So as soon as I get 5 more omnipotence books, this is done. I could burn some omnipotence paper down right now and just finish this. I think I would need like 75. I feel like that's worth. I think I get too much omnipotence paper. I think we can definitely afford to burn some of it. Let me go grab some. How much are Bellandir shards in NA? Because in EU they're 200. I got 12. Should I sell or will they go up? I don't think they're going to go up. There's only going to be more Bellandirs coming into the game. So I don't think that they're going to go up in price. The only way they would go up in price is if there was some sort of like Lucent inflation. But you can't really farm Lucent. It all comes from real life cash purchases. So it doesn't face the normal inflationary, effects of your typical MMO economy. Things don't really go up in price unless there's a new content release. Still very lost on what to choose, evasion or endurance. Sadly, world boss items are really hard to get. If you're lost in what to choose, go with endurance. I'm 2k range melee evasion. It's stupid. Yeah, that's about what I'm at. I'm at about 1900, and it's so strong. It's so strong. But if a staff user looks at me, I just die. I just die so fast. Do you have a good resource to see what's coming in tier 2? Good resource. You could look at the database, I guess, and set it to Korea instead of setting it to global. I'm trying to think. I don't know if anyone's really mapped out all the T2 gear just from tier 2. Because if you look at Korea, you're going to see some tier 2 and some like tier, I don't know what to call it, 2.5 stuff. We also don't know what when that stuff is going to be coming out in NA. So I probably wouldn't worry too much about tier 2 right now. It's probably not going to be till like February. Any tips on getting a necklace to drop from the boar? Um, I think probably eating pork in real life. Do you think that'll increase your chances of getting it? Or do you think abstaining from pork in real life? There has to be some ritual involving pork that will affect your drop chances for the necklace. Anyone know any good rituals? Never have any of the good stuff because I'll not paid people 38,000 Lucent. Well, it's not going to be 38,000 Lucent forever. I mean, a lot of that stuff in Korea is like 500 Lucent now, so it just takes time. What up, Monolitas? How much hit do we need for mobs? Hardly any. Yeah, you don't need to worry about PvE at all. It's really a PvP consideration. What is wealth used for? To buy things? If you're going to start again, what weapons would you choose? I would go SNS Greatsword, probably, if I were to start over. Is it worth to keep doing abyssal contracts for the purple bag, even if I have 0 tokens left? Keep doing abyssal contracts for the purple bag, even if I have 0 tokens left. No, just go get more tokens. Tokens are easy. You should be pulling in like 3,000 to 5,000 abyssal tokens a day. So yeah, just like wait till tomorrow when you have more, and then go do it. I mean, you get 1,500 just from your dimensionals, and then you should be getting like 1,000 to 2,000 a day from your Amatoi, depending on how active you are with them. I mean, technically, you could get 2,500 a day from your Amatoi if you were like really on top of it. What else? Contracts. You should be getting them from contracts, like 50 tokens per contract, right? So that's another 500. I think there's something else that I'm forgetting. But yeah, you should be getting quite a few of those tokens every day. So you don't need to grind with 0 tokens. Thought he was SNS Greatsword. I almost made an SNS Greatsword. The reason I didn't is because they restrict you to 1 SNS per arena. And I wanted to be able to play with some of my friends who were running SNS. But yeah, in hindsight, I probably just would have gone SNS Greatsword. I'm still finishing maxing my blue gear, but I've gotten a lot of purples. Do I sell them for Lucent and then buy the blue gear I'm missing, or hold them and suck the traits when I need? Holding is almost never worth it in this game. Things are going down in price, not up in price. So it's only worth holding if you're going to hold for like a day or two. If you're holding stuff for 2 weeks from now, don't bother. By the time 2 weeks from now comes around, the prices will have dropped by 50%. And even after taxes, you'll make more money just selling now and getting it back later. Moral sandbagging T2 info? What does that even mean? There are Amatoys you can get that increase drop percentage. Kind of. Have you looked at how to get them? I mean, you can get them, but you can't really get them on purpose. You kind of just have to get them by being completely lucky. And some of them, like the one for getting top 10 at Fire Festival, I've never even seen a Fire Festival that isn't co-op, so the reward's like not even there. There are quite a few streamers playing this game, and it reminds me of BDO. What makes this special? What makes the game special? I don't know. There's a goblin. He talks to you when you have storage. I think the game's just solid. The one thing that probably makes the game, that sets this apart from other games, is the large scale PvP. I don't think there's a lot of games where you can have like 500 people fighting over one objective without the game totally falling apart. Other than that, I don't know that this game has a ton of like revolutionary stuff that's never been done before or anything like that. I think they just have a lot of solid like systems and foundations and a lot more content that's on the way. Why SNS Greatsword? I'm Greatsword SNS and I want to be tank, but at the same time do high DPS. Any tips? Yeah, I mean, pretty much any Greatsword SNS is going to be great at both tanking and DPS. You can kind of choose one way or the other. Like, you could go Shot Commander if you want to be really tanky, but you could just as easily go Field General if you want to DPS, and you'll still be able to tank just fine. It's kind of just up to you. You can lean more in one direction or the other, but the role always does both very effectively. It's just crazy strong. Yeah, Mystic Globes. That's the other one. The Mystic Keys. Those will give you a bunch. Does Greatsword Dagger have collision skills? Just one. Just Ascending Slash. Well, and I guess Ankle Strike, but I don't use it. I don't think a lot of Dagger players or Greatsword Dagger players use it. Stun is not considered prone. No, it's just considered stun. Talking about a passive skill of Longbow. If my skills doesn't make enemy bound or oppressed, why have that passive? Passive skill of Longbow. If my skills doesn't make enemy bound or oppressed, why have that passive? I guess you wouldn't? Or maybe I'm not understanding the question. Yeah, if it doesn't benefit you, I wouldn't take it. I think taxes might be the only problem on holding blues if you're trying to trade up purples with blessing. Well, if we're talking about blessing, that's a different story. But I think all of this comes down to your timeline, you know? Like, what do we mean by holding? Are we talking about 2 days? Or are we talking about 2 weeks? What's the point of worth for turning a purple item into a lithograph and being able to sell on the market? You get loosened for it. It's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? What's the point of selling an item? To get money? Oh, you're asking what's the magical number where you should do it. I can't tell you that. It depends on how much ink you have. It depends on your server. It depends on the prices in general. That's going to be different NA to EU. That's going to be different early access to normal. I mean, even NA East, NA West, that's going to be different. It's going to be based on how much ink you've currently got. You have to kind of find that number for yourself. If you have a lot of ink, then you need to spend it. Same with extraction stones. If you have a lot of those things, you need to use them. They don't make you any money sitting in your inventory, so you need to use them. If you barely have any, then you can be greedy because you don't have that many. Any special Moorland tips for Greatsword Dagger in Zerg PVP? You have to use the feud system. The only way to be relevant in Zerg PVP is Greatsword Daggers to use the feud system. You have to find who the top fraggers are on your server, and you have to target them and assassinate them and kind of ignore everything else. Every once in a while, you can throw a devastating smash on top of a sleep bomb or something, but for the most part, you don't really have any AoE you can contribute, so you have to just single out top fraggers and shut them down. Especially crossbow players. Play Greatsword Longbow, can't find much info. Do you have any tips for me? Yeah, it's not a meta build, so there's not going to be a lot of guides for it. I mean, are you trying to play it as a DPS or a tank? I think Greatsword Longbow is a surprisingly good tank build. As a DPS, I mean, as a DPS, it's tough. Like, you would have to decide if you wanted to build it as more of a small scale or more of a large scale build, I guess. $33, $43 SNS Greatsword with Churn and Duke Fury. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's the build is crazy. What is Blessing? If you want to know about Blessing, I recommend checking out my trait guide on upgrading. It'll go through all those mechanics. They're not really simple to explain, unfortunately. I focus more damage on my bow wand build and can still heal a party no problem. What would be would that be a problem in game? My gear score is 2700s. Are you talking about PvE? No, you're not going to have any problems in PvE in Tier 1. Tier 1 content is very easy. When Tier 2 dungeons come out, it's maybe, I don't know how they're going to be tuned for global. They're not putting any T2 gear in the T2 dungeons, so that means the T2 dungeons might come with a difficulty nerf. But I mean, yeah, bow wand is always going to be a really good healing build. It's not like you can... It's not like you really choose that much between the power of your healing and the power of your damage. They kind of both go up, you know. There's not that many trade-offs. On my server, purples are significantly cheaper than 10 blues, so blessing leveling is rarely worth it, except for heavy attack chance. I bet you for accessories it's still worth it. And for chest piece, probably. I was talking about longbow has a passive that attacking a target which is bound or oppressed increases crit, but none of my skills have bound or oppressed. Even with specialization, or am I blind? Yeah, longbow has several skills that bind. And depending on what weapon you pair it with, you probably have some binds from your other weapon as well. Make a video for Greatsword and SNS? I don't know if I'm going to be doing that. We'll see. Specific build guides are very flooded. They're very flooded. I don't know if I need to be focusing on that compared to other content. I might have done that wrong. It might be 20 paper instead of 15. I might have to do a few more. If the trade on a purple is bad, the litho is valuable. It may be worth extracting for the difference. Maybe worth lithoing for the difference. Yeah, you generally are going to litho an item when you can't make a lot of money extracting it, but you can make a lot of money lithoing it. If you can make almost as much money from extracting, it's probably better to just extract and save your ink, because the ink's harder to come by than the extraction stones. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna need to make one more of these, I think. I was hoping I would get a great success. Never lucky. Alright, yeah, one more. Let's go send the stuffed animals out. Tips for SNS wand. Don't die. If you die on an SNS wand, it's not a good look. People are going to be like, how did you die? The Gobble Salesman is giving me Warhammer Goblin Fanatics vibes. When are these games going to make us, or going to allow us to play as goblins again? I'm here from YouTube, so you read my message and now you switch to YouTube. I mean, I have both chats on the same screen, so I'm not like switching. I just go in order. Fresh start server when? Guys, when are we going to be able to play Throne and Liberty Classic? I miss being level 30 and dying to Morokai every time he does his AoE. You guys remember that? Like 3 hours into launch? Those were good times. They should bring that back. Okay. This is a huge upgrade, actually. Look at these numbers. Look at the numbers, boys. From 680 to 750%. 103 to 111 flats. My goodness. Look at the prone damage. An extra 100%. Oh. Oh, I'm so strong. I'm good looking. Okay, what other random crap did we get from the battle pass? We have a bunch of bags to open. Passives. Passive books. Let's spin those. How do I want to spin those, actually? This is always a tough one to prioritize. I probably want to work on getting my crit and crit damage passives maxed out. Those are really high impact. Although, man, Shadow Walker's good. Vital Force is really good. There's so many good passives on this build. This is too good to not be level 3. That's almost done already. Okay, that was cheap. Cheap gains. Probably an extra 12 heavy attack chance. How much do I value that? That's like... With how much heavy I have, I don't even think that's a 1% increase. Like flat increase. How much of a relative increase would it be? Probably like a 3% relative increase. I think we can hold off on that one. Maybe I haven't been using Raging Frenzy. I need to measure how long, like, how big of a radius 5 meters feels like in this game. I feel like it's kind of small, though.
I'm not sure if you know.
If I was playing SNS, this would be really good, because I'd be in the fray more. But as a dagger, I don't know. I don't know how often I'm really going to be using this. Yeah, I think the crit and crit damage are going to give me the most benefit here. Or I could just get another 100 health. Does this have a big jump at the last level? Nah, it's about the same increase. Same increase, but it's going to be really expensive. I'll probably keep upgrading everything pretty evenly. Assassin Step is already crazy. I don't think I need to max this out anytime soon. Yeah, same thing with Barbarian's Dash. These are good enough. Can hold off on those. I'm only using ranged evasion, so Shadow Walker, I do need to get this maxed, but how big of a priority is just 30 ranged evasion? That doesn't feel super important. I think we go with these three, but in what order? We need the crit damage first. Okay, common, immediate, or intermediate. I never get graders and specials when I'm leveling skills, dude. Some blue skills that I still need to level up for PvE. Just toss some of those books around. Skill books really did end up being the bottleneck for T1, man. It's kind of crazy. How's staff in PvP large scale? It's probably one of the best weapons. Melee evasion a must for arena. Probably, yeah. I mean, it depends on your team. If you have a pre-made team, maybe not. Like if you have a tank that can peel for you when you get dived by a greatsword dagger, then you could probably get away without it. But for solo queuing, I would say it's probably mandatory for arena. Some kind of melee defense. It doesn't have to be evasion. You could go like triple endurance as well. But yeah, you can't just ignore melee in arena. You can kind of ignore it in large scale, depending on how you play, but you can't really ignore it in arena. You're going to be facing melee constantly. Twin Cannon, welcome back for 4 months. We don't have any events right now, right? No, okay. Let's open some bags. Should we open some bags? We only open 10 at a time. That's my 10 foil. Okay, that was a pretty good 10. Holy. 3 blues and 2 purples from that? Brother. Melee evasion robes. Melee evasion pants. Wait, I got 2 Glade Stalkers. Yo, I got so much loot from that. Are they both magic endurance? No, one of them's range endurance. Okay. Damn, son. I'm rich. Greaves and robes. Let's take a look at these. Okay. Barely worth it, I would say. What's the litho? Nah, not worth 25 ink. That one's a lot better. Okay, one's a lot better. So let's extract both of these. And then that hit chance will sell. The Glade Stalkers, let's take a look and see. Magic Endurance Glade Stalkers are hella pricey. Look at that. Okay. I didn't realize I was about to make that much money off of these. And then Range Endurance looks like... Yeah, that'll sell. That'll sell. Let's eat both of those. See how easy it is to make money, you guys? Everyone's always asking me, how do you make so much money? You literally just open bags of loot and then you sell them. It's so easy. Whoops. Can you craft out of storage? For the most part, yes. The only thing you need to pull out of storage is for dissolving. Yeah, if you want to dissolve, if you want to sell something on the markets, what else? You can do trade upgrading with items that are in the bank, but I don't think you can like transfer or level up bank stuff. You can, well, you can level up. The growth stones for leveling up will be there, but like the gear might have to be in your actual bag. You can do a lot of stuff from storage though. Everyone's switching to dagger secondary. Yeah, most PvP builds have dagger as a secondary. Bow dagger, staff dagger, greatsword dagger. Even wand dagger now is becoming really popular. A rock SNS wand and never die. Because embarrassing. Your thoughts about Carnix versus Tulip bow? I don't have enough bow experience to give you good advice on that. Carnix is the one that has strength, right? I'd probably go with that, but I'm not a bow player, so don't take my word for it. I opened 32 precious blessing pouches. It wouldn't let me, so I opened 20 and lost my remaining 12 in the stack. Do you know anything about that? No, I'd try relogging. Got 5 on Robust Constitution ASAP. Too much value with the other Greatsword passives. Yeah, you're probably right. It's really hard to value that versus the crit damage. Crit damage in this game, like, it's almost just, because of the way that crit works, crit damage is almost just, like, damage. I feel like it's a really valuable stat. Your greatsword is around 3 meters, so 5 is double your sword attack range. Yeah, so I basically have to be on top of people for Raging Frenzy. That's kind of why I haven't been using it. What's the best heroic item to flip at the auction? Probably the hood, but I would check the tunic and the armor as well. I mean, the best thing to... The easiest way to see that is go down to lithograph and just type in heroic, and then just start scrolling, right? It's not going to be a weapon, because the rubrics are too expensive. But then beyond that, it's like, okay, 250... yeah, 250 for the hood, 225 for the tunic, 250 for the breeches, although that might be an anomaly. I don't know if that'll actually sell. And then once you see which ones are the most expensive to litho, then you kind of like check the traits to verify. So we go, okay, those breeches look really expensive. Are they actually though? And then... Okay, these traits are decent, so if I got Magic Evasion, I would extract that. If I got the rest of these, I'd probably litho it for 200. But then, that's probably not as good as, like, the hood would be. Yeah, like, the hood has max health, which is going to be way more than the litho. And then if you got Magic Evasion, you could extract. If you got any of these others, you'd probably litho. You might extract Range Evasion, that's not bad. And then, yeah, I would check the tunic next. Again, not as good as the hood. Armor. Decent, but probably not as good as the hood. Sometimes these are good. Yeah, probably the hood. But I don't know if every server is the same in that regard. Raging Fury used more for PvE. From the builds I've seen, SNS passives give you evasion and CC resistance. Yeah, for SNS, and Greatsword, I think Raging Fury is a must-have. But for Dagger, I don't think it's as valuable. Lorax, thanks for the Prime. Welcome to the Tinfoil Brigades. I'm downloading the game right now. Think they will server merge since the honeymoon phase is at an end. My guild went from 40 to 12. Yeah, I think they will server merge probably after Siege. Need to max Q. You think so? What value does it give, really? I haven't really been prioritizing it. Hit the like button, it's Friday. Pouches are bugged right now, care. What does that mean? What kind of cryptic warning is that? Dropping to say thanks for your videos. Excited to use your spreadsheet once I get more than 10 loosened. What's the difference between heavy attack and crit? Heavy attack is double damage. It's always double damage. Crit is like... I don't know how to explain crit. Crit is like your chance to do closer to your maximum damage. Do you think it's worth to sell things first and then work on traits or save purples with good traits and just keep grinding? I think that comes down to how patient you are. The prices always go down over time. So is it worth to sell things and then buy them back later? I mean, from a purely like price standpoint, obviously, yes. The real question is, do you want to be a gearlet for a month while you wait for the prices to come down? And that's kind of just up to you and your pacing and your level of patience. How you don't have the health and mana bars on the lower right corner is beyond me. The lower right corner. Down here? Why would I want them down here? I don't want to look down here. I've got like my fishing rod down here. Okay. Max health, health regen. Those two will sell, probably. Throw this into litho. And then... do we want to run these contracts and then open bags? Let's just open them right now. Let's split this in half. I don't want to open them all at once. I feel like I always get worse results when I open them all at once. Okay, well that was total trash. Let's try the other 6. We're looking for a shock commander plate, please. All right, no shock commander plates today. I got one last week. Can't get lucky every time. Okay, melee evasion on helmet. I feel like that'll sell sooner or later. Heavy attack, definitely. Melee evasion on glove. I don't know, actually. Let me take a look. A lot of the blues, evasion on a lot of the blues is starting to become harder to sell. There's so many. I also have a ton of extraction stones, though. I'm just gonna do it. Even if I have to relist them a few times. I think they'll sell for a little bit longer. And then it's going to get to the point where just buying the purples is going to make more sense. People still need the blues for their actual blue gear, though. That's the other thing. It's like not everyone's on purple yet. Is there a low budget belt for Scorpion? Oh man, you think I know the names of the classes? You know how many different class names there are? What's Scorpion? Crossbow something? Is that crossbow dagger? What to spend dimensional coins on? I'm thinking Shadow Harvester gloves for litho trade since I need it. What to spend dimensional coins on? The dimensional shards? I think Harvester grips are the way to go. Yeah, they were, at least on this server, that's the way to go. They were the most valuable. But I think it's going to change a lot. Especially with the new, like, I don't know. I think you just kind of have to check when it comes time to do it. I'm not quite understanding what about swap trait. Do we need the same weapon with different trait, or we need only trait extract and we can swap the traits? You need an extract from the exact same weapon. The extract and the item are the same thing when it comes to traits. They're functionally the same if your purpose is to upgrade traits or unlock traits. I'm looking for a build guide for Great Sword and SNS, more specifically for skills and order of operations for tanking in a group. Any suggestions? Most guides I find are about the gear. Specific guide around SNS tanking? I don't think any come to mind. No, you could try Maxroll for written guides. It's a costume Cronstone issue, but for the entire market. What do you mean? What's up, Leper? What content would you recommend in order of importance when going from trading blues to trading purples? Well, in terms of importance, it's your accessories, but it's also the most expensive. So you might not necessarily want to do them first because they are going to cost the most. But getting skill damage boost and skill damage resistance, those are the two strongest traits in the whole game. But I mean, they also tend to be the most expensive. So beyond that, I would say getting your weapons done is really important. Expo Dagger, any farmable belts? I don't play Expo Dagger, so I wouldn't be able to just grab an answer off the top of my head for that. I would expect that it depends on what kind of evasion you're building. Like if you're going melee evasion, then Belt of Combat Prowess is always a good option. If you're not, then I don't know what crossbow daggers use. I'd have to go look. Yatsuna for SNS Greatsword guides. Staff skills need a nerf. Preach it! Oof. Deadeye with silence resistance. That might still sell, actually. Those both might still sell. People might use those for junk stacking. Yep. And this one might not. Yeah, torque is like very flooded. This is the one I used when I was stacking blessing for necklaces. On topic of guides, is more Maxroll reliable than Meta Battle or Game 8? I'm not sure. I haven't looked that closely and compared them. Greatsword needs a nerf. Get him out of here! The guy who said nerf staff, give him a promotion. The guy who said nerf Greatsword, ban him. Get him out. What's junk stacking? It's when you like purposely use bad traits to stack blessing on your gear before you level it up. Or before you trade it up. Pay-to-win players slowly stop supplying the markets. Supply and demand becomes out of balance. Market collapse. Well, it depends on your definition of collapse. I mean, if collapsing is everything becoming cheap, a lot of players want that. A lot of players desire for the items to become very cheap and available. So it depends on what angle you approach it at. If you like being one of the people who's ahead early on, then that's a bad thing. But if you're a casual player and you're trying to catch up, that's a good thing. Bro's making money? That's right. That's right. We're hitting 40K today. All right, probably not. Probably not going to make that much. Just realized I had Shadow Harvest grips in my storage just sitting there. Those are worth some cash. Do you know if you can transfer between Eastern and Western servers? You cannot. How do you farm Lucid now? You just open these bags. Yeah, see these bags? You just open them. And then you get money. Look at that. Gauntlets of the Infernal Herald. Max mana. Huge money. So rich now that I have the Gauntlets of the Infernal Herald with max mana. What is those? I'm guessing that sells for 20 Lucid. That's my guess. Oh, 68. Okay, I am rich. I am actually rich. Let's go. Range evasion boots. I feel like that's a solid maybe. We'll extract that. Heavy attack is yes. Man, people really be buying max mana, huh? That's... Alright, go for it. Sure thing. Oh, wow. Those are actually not minimum price. Cannot register any more items! Guys, this game fears me. It cannot handle my market prowess. Okay, well, some of these are sort of not going to sell right away, so let's make some space. I'll relist these later. Eight hour, 10 minutes. Nobody wanted those? Seriously, Greatsword and SNS needs a nerf? Yeah, no, it really does. It's the SNS part, though, not the Greatsword part. Every SNS build needs a nerf. Let's be honest, you guys. What's your minimum profit per trait extraction stone? 2 to 1. Before taxes. After taxes, 1.6 to 1. The bar is very low for me. Very low. What are special resistance medals? You turn in 40 special resistance medals to get a lithograph of any resistance item. We were talking about that a minute ago. Usually you want to look at the hood or the tunic or sometimes the armor. There's a few different pieces that people tend to like more than others. And so you can use that for money, or you can just use it if you actually need the gear. Sometimes it makes more sense to get the money and then buy the gear. The max mana means you can cast one more ability. Typically people go for mana regen, but I mean if they want to pay 70 Lucent for max mana on the Infernal Gauntlets, then I will gladly sell that to them. Oof, nothing in those. Alright, Saradoma pouches. All kinds of good stuff in here. Which I didn't get. Oh, that bracelet's money. I'm not gonna have room to list all this stuff, though. Some of the stuff I just listed, it's taking a second to get on the market, but once it gets on there, it'll sell right away because everything's cheap. So, magic evasion gloves, I think yes. Health, I think maybe not. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I have a database of all these prices, but it changes day to day, so it's hard to keep up. Bengals money, max health, min price, but it'll sell. These gloves, min price, but I feel like they will sell. In my heart, they will sell. Nope, no weapons. Yeah, max health gloves. Unfortunately, even though that's a really good trait, it's just not. There's no market for it. It's too common, I guess. Okay, 9 more bags. Getting good luck with weapons. You do have, most of the time when it comes to weapons, you're going to get something good. You only have like a 1 out of 3 chance to get one of the bad traits. Range evasion helmets. Some of this stuff, like, I feel like there's not a huge chance of it selling, but I have so many trait stones that I need to take the chance. Yeah, no, that's too flooded. These are all 1-day timers. That's too flooded. Okay, how are we doing? We're at 26 out of 30 listings. Now I'm at 28. Is there anything else I need to sell? I can start relisting some of the crap that I took down. No other bags to open. I do need to go run. I got a bunch of these scrolls now, so we do need to go run these. And then we'll get even more loots. But, I mean, you see how easy it is to make money, you guys? They just hand it to you. They just hand it to you. I'm trying to fill up some of these blues so I can just dissolve them. And make some space. Are these all different traits? Oh, they both have melee endurance. Whoops. Yeah. Smash those together. What else? Shadewalkers. Some of those weapon traits I probably shouldn't be smashing. They probably actually will sell for 10, like even the undead damage. I should be more careful about that. I might have wasted some money. Wildkin damage bonus. What are these called? Because, I mean, if people are using these for blessing... Although weapon traits are getting pretty cheap, so maybe not. Yeah, no. I mean, that looks like it'll sell. All right. So I was a little hasty with those Shadewalkers. I bet some of those junk Shadewalker traits would sell too. Ooh, okay. Construct damage on this wand, not so much. What about health regen? Not bad. Not bad. I will take it. Why can't I extract this one? It has 8 blessing on it. Why does it have 8 blessing? I must have thrown a green one on it for some reason. I don't know why I would have done that. I guess so that I could salvage it. Okay, the rest of this stuff I don't think there's going to be any market for. Yeah, the rest of the stuff I think we just keep smashing. Let's take a look at some of these purples. Visor with health regen. That's a 1-to-1, so that's pretty bad. If it was one of the other junk traits, it would actually be not too bad, but okay, let's look at Banshee next. Yeah, that's also pretty bad. Magic Endurance, is that the one I have? That's the only one that's not worth extracting? Okay. Well, fine then. We decide max health on helmet is not selling? I know on gloves it's not. Did I check helmet? See how hard it is to keep track of all this crap? I need a spreadsheet. I need a spreadsheet that dynamically pulls the prices from the game. I actually think there might be an API for that. Maybe we'll build one. Oh, that's very valuable. Okay, I apparently didn't check that. Man, the greens might even sell. Actually, I think I was trying to sell some greens and they didn't, so. Yeah, that's what these are right here. Okay, we're back up to 30 out of 30. Oh, we're getting sales. These timers are starting to go up. I think we're about ready to leave town and actually do something. That was good, though. What do you do with useless purple gear when it's not worth lithographing and they have garbage traits? You can either put them in the lithograph book or you can dissolve them, but I would recommend, the devs have just teased substance transformation, which is a new system. I would recommend saving them for substance transformation because I think it's likely that is coming this month. And basically, when substance transformation comes out, it's like a giant garbage disposal that you can throw all your items into, and then it will convert them into new loot at a random chance. And so, disconnected from server. Is it because I've been standing around doing the market for too long? Or did the servers just crash for everybody? Hold on, we're having an Ashes of Creation meeting in Discord. I need to hop in real quick. Okay, you guys can't hear Discord, right? Instead of searching like that, you can click on the extract and there's an option to search the markets. Well, it does it for that exact piece. Yeah, that's pretty useful. That's pretty useful most of the time. There's some times where we're just going to want to see the trait in general. But there's other times when seeing the exact piece is going to be useful. Dagger need removed from the game. What's the lowest threshold to still be worth lithographing armor or a weapon? That's going to be different for every single person. Yeah, and instead of focusing on like a magical number, you're going to have to learn how to do that dynamically based on the market and how many resources you have and what server you're on. Do you think we'll ever see an update where dimensional tokens are reworked? Feels like being able to run 3 a day is a bit limited. No, they limit it on purpose. They don't want people to have to be able to run dungeons all day, every day. That's why they limit it. when challenge dungeons come out, you'll be able to run challenge dungeons all day. So, you know, that'll probably make you happy, but no, they're never going to rework dimensional tokens. Those are made that way very intentionally. When you pulling the trigger for general gloves? Like buying them? I'm not buying them, bro. I'm getting fed those gloves. Are you kidding me? 17,000? Do you know how much lower that will make the number in the top left corner of my screen if I buy those? Absolutely not. Is it very beneficial to level fishing and cooking? It's pretty beneficial. I don't know if I would say it's very beneficial. But yeah, you can make some money off of it. You can sell food. People pay a lot for food, actually. I wouldn't make it your #1 priority. I think like running dungeons is pretty much always going to make you more money. But if you're out of tokens and stuff, then yeah, fishing and cooking is a great use of your time. Do I have alts? No, I haven't had time to make any alts. I know you guys think I play this game all day, every day, but unfortunately, I do not. Sanctum of Desire is fun. Trying to sell purple traits for less than 60 to 70. It depends on how many stones you have. If I was down to 100 stones, then I would only take probably like a 4-to-1 ratio. But I have 600 stones. And actually, I think I can buy even more. Yeah, like, I need to go run some contracts, but so many. So many stones. Do you get more from dissolved if fully traded? It doesn't necessarily have to be fully traded, but any item that you dissolve that you trait into another item is going to give you more than if you dissolve it by itself. So you don't necessarily have to fill it up, but if you can combine it with another item, yes, you'll get more that way. You're selling at 2 to 2.5 Lucent per extraction stone? Yeah, just 2. I'm only aiming for 2 to 1 right now. Here's smash and dissolve. Does smash equals upgrading with traits and dissolve equals litho? No, dissolve equals dissolve. It's literally called dissolve when you salvage something. But yeah, smashing it just means you just grab it and stick it into another item. Smash the traits together. Is a premium leveling pass worth 500 Lucent? Yeah. More of an economy management game than an MMO? This game has the simplest economy of any MMO I've ever seen. So, I don't know if I agree with that. Do I flip? No. Flipping is very hard to do when there's a 22% tax. The only way that you can flip is if someone like accidentally posts something for half of what it's worth. And I mean, I guess you could just sit there refreshing the market all day and hope you get lucky. But no, it's usually... When did I get these? No, I don't typically do any flipping unless I like just happen to open the market as something super cheap gets listed. But that doesn't really happen. You say to hold on to purples like 2 minutes after I dissolve like 10? Well, there's a lot of stuff that I think is worth saving up for substance transformation. The dev said they aren't letting substance trans come into the game as it is now. Well, it doesn't need to come in as it is in Korea. It just needs to come into the game, period. Are evasion stats useful on PvE? Yeah, you can dodge PvE attacks. More pouches? Hit chance matters in PvE, but only a little bit. You don't need a huge amount of hit for PvE. You should get plenty just from like your weapons and your perception. People will start gatekeeping challenge dungeons if things are the same as in KR. How could they gatekeep them? Low PvE DPS classes are going to have it rough. Yeah. People will definitely rather have high DPS classes if they're pushing really high dungeons. If you're playing an off-meta build, you might just have to make friends, you know? What do you do with my life? Most of my life is spent standing around in town answering questions from chat. I've been live for 2 hours and I've accomplished nothing. 36k Lucent is free to play. That's impressive. You still farming belts? Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, we might farm some belts today. I might not have time though. I'm sorry, I'm listening to a Discord call right now. The Ashes Alpha comes up in like 10 minutes, and I might hop over and do that. But let's knock out some contracts. Where to farm rare rings? It's going to be different for every single ring. So you can always bring up the crafting window, and then go and click on the ring, and then click this, and then go to how to acquire. And it will tell you, or you can look it up on like the database, tldatabase.com or questlog.gg. Always Bronc with Solent. Where's the best places to farm? Any Abyssal Dungeon. You can farm any Abyssal Dungeon for Solents. You want to make sure that you're using either the crab meat pie, or the cheaper version is the soft steam bird egg. But both of those are 50% solent. This one also has 10% token efficiency on top of the 50% solent. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, so I'm just going to pop the cheap one. How often do you have extracts listed at the lowest price that don't sell? Not that often. I mean, I'm pretty careful, so I kind of know the prices of everything that I'm selling, and I look at the timers, and I have an idea for how likely it is that something's going to sell. Some things I know that I'm probably going to have to list them 2 or 3 times before they sell. But yeah, and if that's happening to me, it's not really happening like randomly or by accident. I'm pretty careful about that kind of thing, so. How am I supposed to use my 14 event entrance tokens? I'm getting so bored. Yeah, I think everyone's really bored of the events. Unfortunately, I think it should have been 1 a day, not 3 a day. Interested to see what changed in a week on Ashes. I don't think it's gonna be enough to make you happy, Ked. It's been a week. If they didn't make you happy in 8 years, I don't think they're gonna make you happy in 8 years plus 1 week. Where do you farm belts? The belt farm I was doing is at Temple of Celibeth. You go in there and you kill the Shade Wizards. And they drop a blue belt that's pretty valuable. There's a lot more people doing it now, though, so it's not as good as it used to be. Precious Marins sell for 500k Solent. Yeah, I think if you're doing it right, you shouldn't need to be selling your Marins. What are you guys spending your Solent on, where you find yourselves always broke like that? I feel like you're not making good use of your abyssal tokens if you're out of Solent. It shouldn't be that hard to get in tier 1. Let's do open world dungeon together. We'll come. This group has 3 spots for some reason. I don't know why they don't have 6, but I'm not on Sorrow right now. What are the best contract tokens by drops price to farm islands? The best contract tokens by drops price to farm. You need to do all the contracts. You need to do all your blue contracts. You should get them for every level 50 abyssal dungeon. You need to do all of them. You're throwing if you're not running those. Stop doing the pumpkin dungeons, not fun. They're not fun, but they're very fast if you do them with a group of friends who have decent gear and know what's going on. Do we gain mastery while killing stuff and spinning abyssal contract in dungeons? Yeah, this killing abyssal mobs and spinning your abyssal tokens is pretty much the only way you're going to gain mastery. That plus eating the little tiers that you get from your contracts and stuff. You're skilled now for farm? Yeah, this is just for running around killing weak mobs. This isn't for bosses or for PvP. Also need server 80 loosen for lithograph. Yeah, that's still not bad though, man. I mean, that's like a purple litho being worth 400. It's about the same ratio. It's still pretty solid. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it's still pretty solid. Crafting purple skill books, that's why you're running outs? Where are you guys getting the paper from that? Are you running paper contracts? Yeah, I don't know. If you're not capped on abyssal tokens and you're eating this bird egg, I can't imagine that you're out of Solent. Never had less than 10 mil since launch. Yeah, something is wrong if you're out of Solent. You're not. You're doing it wrong. I can't tell you exactly what you're doing wrong, but you're definitely doing something wrong. 3.6 mil in cooking. Well, when you cook, even if you're just spamming healthy milk, you can vendor that milk back to the Sundries guy and get like a huge amount of your Solent back. I think it's like at least half of the Solent that you spend. Storage space? How much have you spent on storage space? I have 150 spots in the bank and maxed out bag storage, and I think all in all that costs like a few million. Did this group go inside? Oh, I hate when they do that. Maybe I'll start my own group. You're too away from the far away from the target to auto attack. Holy. Melee struggles sometimes in this game. Alright, I'll just make a group, see if people join. Nobody wants to play with me. Why do you hate it? Why do I hate what? Once you get all skills passive and active into purple, you can't have enough Solents. You guys just gotta eat your steam bird eggs. I think that's really probably what it comes down to. You just gotta eat your steam bird eggs. Something is capped if you're out of solent. Either your contracts are capped or your abyssal tokens are capped. If you're doing everything you're supposed to do, you will have infinite solent in T1. T2, completely different story, but you shouldn't have solent problems in T1. If I spam enough, I'll get 6 people. Ah, it's working. That's the tech, boys. That's the tech. I'm not using Stellarites, because my daggers don't really do any damage. The only dagger skills that I have equipped right now is Shadow Strike. Is that really the only one? I think that's literally the only dagger skill I have on right now. Yeah. So, it doesn't matter. The Greatsword has Stellarite. Although it's kind of low. I need to get more. Want to go inside? No! I don't want to go inside! Stop going inside! Event gives 500,000 solent for each clear. You have 4,000 rare parchment? From what? That's crazy. That's a lot. Why do you hate going inside the cave? Because it's too far. I'm just here to get my contracts done. I mean, the cave is fine. Like, I just wouldn't take the magic crystal flower missions if I was in there. These all suck. There we go. Yeah, if I was trying to, like, get as many mobs as possible to spin my abyssal tokens, then I would probably go inside. Or even up here. Like, this is always kind of undercamped. But, for contracts, I like being able to just run over here and grab the flowers real fast. A lot of the faster missions involve just grabbing this flower. Kind of tedious. I hope they change all these contracts soon, to be honest. Grab one more while we're here. Usually I'll fill up all my contracts until the flower's the only objective left. I'll come up here, I'll grab them. That'll complete 2 or 3 of the contracts. I'll then refill those, grab the flower again, and then that's it. I only have to make 1 trip up here, and I can burn like 10 or 12 scrolls. And I just won't take the flower now from my last scroll that I have. So, I could go inside. It's not that big of a deal, but I don't want to. You can make solid from fishing? Yeah, I could see that. You can make lucent from fishing too. Contracts are boring. I don't want to do them anymore. They are kind of boring. Yeah. Yeah, it's not my favorite part of the game. The loot is so good though on these blue ones. It's so good. It'll be okay. More content will come. More content will come, but you're still going to have to do those contracts. Even when new content comes out, those contracts are still going to be there, piling up. And they're going to be like, I have to run these. Yeah, everyone in my group is like as spread out as they could possibly be. Kind of defeats the purpose. I think one guy's getting the flower. When I get 3 more tails, I can spawn the boss. It's pretty nice opening 10 plus those bags at once. It is. Yeah, it is. Amazon have to tell devs to stop making daily and weekly contents. They've just let us do what we want to do. I don't think that's ever going to happen in this game. I mean, I think the design of the daily and weekly content in this game, ironically, is to give you less to do rather than more to do. It's designed that way as a cap rather than as like a, here's something to fill up your time. It's like, here's something to limit how much time you can put into the game so that casual players can actually keep up. But I think the bigger issue is that contracts are just boring. Like I don't think the issue is that they're, you know, that you have to do them every week because they're not really a daily. You can pile them up for like 6-7 days in a row. But yeah, I think the real issue is that they're boring. I don't think we would be complaining about them if the contracts were like telling me to do stuff that I was already planning on doing anyways, rather than like going to pick up a flower. You know, that's away from the mobs that I'm killing. The contract should be kill 30 mobs. You know what I mean? My group collapsed. I just need to kill the boss and these will all get finished. I need 2 more tails. Where'd everybody go? With all that's not really true. People have time. We'll just switch region and create more alts. All Lucents are shared. Yeah, sharing Lucent across regions I think was a huge mistake. Even sharing it across characters, I think, was probably a mistake. I understand why they felt the need to do it, since it's something you're buying with real currency, and so it goes on your account instead of on your character. But I still think it was a big mistake. Alright. Got my big tail. Oh, someone else summoned it. There's going to be a cooldown before I can do the boss again. Alright, that one will be pretty quick. Okay, the Ashes Alpha is supposed to be coming up right now. Should I hop over so I don't get stuck in queue? I think I will. If this ends up being a huge wait, I'll probably just hop back on Throne and then play Ashes tomorrow. But let me see if I can get into this real quick.